Want to speak real Korean from your first lesson? Sign up for your free lifetime account at KoreanClass101.com.
10 phrases to help you in an emergency. Let's begin. 경찰을 불러주세요. Call the police, please. So 경찰 means policeman, and 불러주세요 means please call. So when you're in an emergency and if you want someone to call police over the phone or in person, you can say 경찰을 불러주세요. Call the police, please. You can also, if you need an ambulance, you can say ambulance를 불러주세요. By replacing the word 경찰 here and say ambulance를 불러주세요 or 구급차를 불러주세요, which means call me the ambulance, please. So if you can make a call, you can call 112 to call a police or 119 to call a fire truck or ambulance. 열이 나나요? Do you have a fever? So here we have the word 열, which means fever. It can be any kind of heat, like it can be also, you can also use it to mean the heat from fire. But when you talk about your health, like body condition, 열 can mean fever. So when you go to a hospital, you might hear this question in Korean, and you can say 예 to mean yes or 아니요 to mean no. 여권을 잃어버렸어요. I lost my passport. So 여권 literally means the book for travel, because 여 is the Chinese character meaning travel, and 권 is kind of the counter for books. So 여권 means passport, and when you lost your passport, before or after you call your embassy, you also have to report it to a police. So in that case, when you go to a police station, you can say 여권을 잃어버렸어요. 잃어버렸어요 or 잃어버리다 is the verb meaning to lost. So you can actually say you lost something using this pattern. Say, 우산을 잃어버렸어요. I lost my umbrella. 가방을 잃어버렸어요. I lost my bag. 뭔가 잘못 먹은 것 같아요. I think I ate something bad. It's a little bit long phrase to remember, but I think this is kind of polite way to say I ate something bad. If you don't want to hurt anyone, I think this is a phrase that you can use at a hospital or even at a restaurant. So 뭔가 at the beginning of the sentence here means something. 잘못 means wrong, wrongly, and 먹은 것 같아요 means I think I ate something. So here we have the verb 같아요, which means I think, it seems like, and it makes your sentence indirect and also polite. So you'll be able to see a lot of expressions in Korean have this kind of ending, like 같아요, so that it doesn't sound direct, a little bit softer, and also polite. 의사가 필요해요. I need a doctor. So when you need a medical help, you can use this phrase to say I need a doctor. 의사가 필요해요. Here, 의사 means a doctor, and you can also put any other words too. For example, 도움이 필요해요, which means I need a help. The particle 가 should be changed depending on the noun. So if you don't want to worry about the particle because you really need a help right now, but not make any grammatical mistake, you can just keep saying particle and just say 의사 필요해요. I need a doctor. 도움 필요해요. I need help. It doesn't sound 100% natural, but it means clear. Anyways. 호텔로 돌아가는 길을 못 찾겠어요. I can't find the way back to my hotel. If you are looking for some guest house and hotels with reasonable prices, you'll be able to find many of them in north part of Seoul, which has a longer history than south part of Seoul. That also means that the roads are kind of smaller and not easy to find because it's been there for like 600, 700 years. So in that case, I recommend you to get a name card of your hotel when you check in, so that other Korean people can help you, because there are a lot of guest hotels, guest houses, which are new. Korean people might not be able to, find it if they just hear the name only. So I think it's better to get the name card at the check-in desk when you arrive at the hotel. 이 근처에 약국 있나요? Is there a pharmacy nearby? So we have the noun 약국 here. 약 means medicine, and 국 is something like store. So 약국 means pharmacy. I think you'll be able to easily find a pharmacy in Korea, but when it's on weekends, it might not easy to find one nearby. So I think before you go to a pharmacy on your map, on your smartphone, I think it's better to call them. If they answer, that means they're open. So you can just go there or ask the front desk staff to call them or check it for you to see if they're open. Because many times, half of them will be closed. So I think it's better to check it in advance. And if you just need some simple medicine, I think you can also check out the convenience store nearby. I think they have some medicines there too. 좀 도와주실래요? Can you help me? To say can you help me, you can just say 도와주실래요? But here we have the word 좀, which means a little, like, a few. Because if you use that at the beginning of your question or request, you request a question will be very polite. So even if you don't want to say, can you help me a little bit? Like by using the word 좀, you can make your request much more polite. 길을 잃었어요. I'm lost. So here we have the word 길, which means street. So it literally means I lost what street I am, something like that. If you just simply say 잃었어요 to mean I'm lost, it means I lost something. So if you want to say I am lost because I don't know where I am, make sure to say 길을 at the beginning and say 길을 잃었어요. 영어 하세요? Do you speak English? It literally means do you do English? But when you want to ask someone if someone speaks English, this 하세요, the verb meaning to do, make your question more natural. So you can say 영어 하세요 to mean do you speak English? Or if you want to ask another language, for example, 중국어, Chinese, you can say 중국어 하세요. Do you speak Chinese? 5 sentence patterns for beginners. Let's begin. 제 이름은 입니다. My name is. So after you say 제 이름은, which means my name is, you can just put your name and say 입니다. 입니다 is the word meaning to be. So unlike English, you have to put your name in the middle of the sentence. So for example, my name is 재휘, so I can say 제 이름은 재휘입니다. My name is 재휘. 제 이름은 재휘입니다. My name is 재휘. 저는 입니다. I am. So I think this is kind of the magic sentence pattern. You can put anything in there. You can even put the name of your job. You can also put your nationality, like ethnic group, or anything in there, because that literally means I am something. So for example, if you are, let's say, from the UK, you can say 저는 영국 사람입니다 by using the word 영국 사람, which means British, or literally means the person from the UK. And if your job is a student, you can say 저는 학생입니다 using the noun 학생, which means a student. So you just, put anything in there. Just say 저는, which means I am. And then put a noun and say 입니다, which means to be. 어디예요? Where is? So when you want to see where something is, you just have to put the noun about the place at the beginning and say 어디예요? Make sure to raise the tone at the end of sentence as in 어디예요, not 어디예요. It's because when you say 어디예요, it becomes a question, but if you say 어디예요, it becomes a statement. So make sure to say 어디예요 when you ask a question. So if you are in a park and if you want to know where a restroom is, you can use the noun 화장실, which means restroom, and then just say 어디예요? 화장실 어디예요? Where's the restroom? 저는 에 살아요. I live in. So unlike English, you have to put the name of the place in the middle of the sentence. So if you live in Seoul, Seoul in Korean, you can say 저는 서울에 살아요. 저는 서울에 살아요. So simply say 저는, which means I do, I am, and then name of the place and say 에 살아요. Here, 에 is the particle for location. If you put the particle 에 right after the place name, it becomes in Seoul, for example, like as in 서울에. For sure, like in many cases, you can just skip saying particle and just say 저는 서울 살아요. But it sounds a little bit not natural, so it's better to use the particle 에 if you can remember it correctly. 저는 좋아해요. I like. So 좋아해요 is the verb meaning to like something. So if you like something, you just say 저는 and the object and just say 좋아해요, which means I like something. So for example, if you like 한국, Korea, everything about Korea, you can say 저는 한국 좋아해요. I like Korea. I think this is the magic word to make more Korean friends when you see someone for the first time. If you like something else, like let's say 갈비, which is kind of marinated beef or pork, you can say 저는 갈비 좋아해요. I like 갈비, the marinated beef or pork. 20 travel phrases you should know. Let's begin. 고마워요. Thank you. I think if you just have to remember just one phrase before you travel to Korea, I think this is the phrase that you should know. 고마워요. There are different phrases meaning thank you. For example, 감사합니다, which is more formal, something like I appreciate. But 고마워요 can be used in general for any like casual or formal situation. For example, 저쪽에 가시면 화장실이 있어요. The toilet is over there. And you can just say 고마워요, thank you. Just for your tip, in Korea, it's mandatory to open a bathroom on the first floor of every building. So if you don't know where you can find a restroom, you just go to any big building around you, and then you'll be able to see a restroom open to public on the first floor of each building. 저기요, excuse me. If you want to ask how to get to a restroom around you, you can just say 저기요, 화장실은 어디에 있어요? Excuse me, where's the toilet? And then you can say 고마워요 to thank you after getting the answer. 얼마입니까? How much is it? 얼마입니까 sounds a little bit formal, so if you want to go a little bit casual, you can also say 얼마예요? How much is it? You're at a store like for clothing and you find a very good clothing for you, but there's no price tag. Then in this case, you can say 얼마입니까? 얼마예요? Meaning how much is this? 기차역이 어디예요? Where's the train station? Here we have the noun 기차역 meaning train station, and you can replace it with the other noun saying 화장실이 어디예요? Where's the toilet? Or 지하철역이 어디예요? Where's the subway station? 와이파이 인터넷은 무료인가요? Is the Wi-Fi free? So here we have the word Wi-Fi internet, or simply you can also say Wi-Fi to mean Wi-Fi. If you go to any cafe like Starbucks, let's say you buy a coffee and you can get a receipt, and on the receipt you can find a Wi-Fi password. Checking it, you can ask them saying Wi-Fi는 무료인가요? Or Wi-Fi 인터넷은 무료인가요? Meaning is the Wi-Fi free? 이거로 할게요. I'd like this. 이걸로 할게요. I like this. Here we have the noun 이거 meaning this. If you want to say that thing, you can say 저거로 할게요. I'd like that. 메뉴판 좀 주실래요? Could we have the menu please? 메뉴판 좀 주실래요? Could we have the menu please? You can just simply say menu and say 메뉴 좀 주실래요 to mean the same thing. This is very polite expression, so I recommend you to use that. And if you need something else, you can just replace 메뉴판 with something else. For example, 물 좀 주실래요? Could we have water please? Or 김치 좀 주실래요? Could we have kimchi please? 추천해 주시겠어요? Do you have any recommendations? If you're not sure what to have at the restaurant, you can just say 추천해 주시겠어요? Do you have any recommendations? If you're not sure what to order at a Korean restaurant, I would highly recommend you try 불고기, which is kind of seasoned beef with soy sauce and sugar. So it's a little bit salty, but also sweet, but not spicy. 불고기를 추천합니다. I recommend 불고기. 땅콩 알러지가 있어요. I'm allergic to peanuts. If you're allergic to peanuts, you can just say 땅콩 알러지가 있어요. If you're allergic to something else, you can just say something 알러지가 있어요. For example, if you're allergic to cats, you can just replace 땅콩 with 고양이, which means cat, and say 고양이 알러지가 있어요. I'm allergic to cats. 채식 메뉴 있어요? Do you have any vegetarian dishes? Although many Korean dishes use a lot of vegetables, it's not easy to find something only for vegetarians. So it's better to ask, 채식 메뉴 있어요? Do you have any vegetarian dishes? Before you order something at a Korean restaurant. Or if you want to try a traditional Korean dish but without any beef or meat, you can just say 고기 빼고 주세요, which means please make dish without meat. 계산서 주세요. Could I have the check? If you want to pay for your dish, you can just ask 계산서 주세요. 카드 돼요? Do you take credit card? 카드 돼요? Do you take credit card? Almost all the restaurants, they accept credit cards. So even if you don't have any Korean currency, it's okay to just go to a restaurant and just pay by your credit card. 사진 좀 찍어주실래요? Could you take a picture of me, please? So if you're alone, but if you want to take a picture of you with something beautiful, you can just ask, 사진 좀 찍어주실래요? 금연석으로 주세요. I'd like to have a non-smoking seat, please. Actually, you don't have to ask this question anymore because since 2015, all restaurants in South Korea became non-smoking, like smoking-free. But you can use the pattern to ask something else. For example, 창가 근처로 주세요. I'd like to have a window seat. 할인해 주실 수 있어요? Could you give me a discount? Simply, you can also say 할인해 주세요, which means please give me a discount. When you are at a Korean traditional market, I think it's mandatory to ask this question because usually they expect their customers to ask this question. So it's better to ask the question. It's kind of fun to get some discount. So in the case, you can say 할인해 줄 수 있어요? Could you give me a discount? Or 할인해 주세요. Please give me a discount. 지도 좀 주실래요? Could I get a map? It's possible to not have any internet connection on your phone, so you need a map. In that case, you can just go to a tourist information center where you can find almost every tourist spot in South Korea and just say 지도 좀 주실래요? Could I get a map? 예약했어요. I have a reservation. So when you step into a hotel, when you step into a guest house, the staff will ask you like 예약하셨어요? Did you make a reservation? Then you can say 예약했어요. I made a reservation. I have a reservation. 물 주세요. Water please. This is very simple pattern. Like you can just replace 물 with something else. 김치 주세요. 김치 please. 주세요 can be used for any situations. It sounds polite, but still a little bit casual. If you want to be really polite, you can also say something 주시겠어요? 물 주시겠어요? 김치 주시겠어요? That means could you please give me something? But for most of the cases, you can just remember 주세요 and say something 주세요 to mean something please. 영어 할 줄 아세요? Do you speak English? Simply, you can also say 영어 하세요. It literally means do you do English? But it can mean do you speak English? You know, if someone says something in Korean and you want to ask the person to repeat this question in English, you can just say 영어로 말해주세요. Please say that in English. 괜찮아요. It's okay. So in Korean, it's better to say something indirectly if you want to be polite. So if you want to say no, it's better to say 괜찮아요, which literally means it's okay, but it can be translated as no. So for example, if someone asks you to buy something, you can just say 괜찮아요 to mean no. It's better than saying 아니에요, which means no, literally, because it sounds too direct. And so therefore, it sounds a little bit rude.
Want to speak real Korean from your first lesson? Sign up for your free lifetime account at KoreanClass101.com.
Top 10 phrases to survive at the station. Let's begin. 에 가고 싶은데요. I'd like to go to. 에 가고 싶은데요. I'd like to go to. Here we have the particle 에, which we call a location marking particle. In English, like when you say to the station, the to indicates the location, right? The same thing happens in Korea. Like if you just use the particle 에, that indicates the location. So for example, like if you want to say to Seoul Station, you can say 서울역, the name of the Seoul Station in Korean, and say 에, the location marking particle, 서울역에, to Seoul Station. So if you ask a question using this phrase, 어디에 가고 싶은데요? I'd like to go somewhere. You might hear some answers, and one of them might be 이 버스를 타세요. Please take this bus. 여기가 가는 플랫폼 맞나요? Is this the right platform for? 여기가 어디에 여기가 가는 플랫폼 맞나요? Is this the right platform for? So between 여기가 and 가는, you can just put your destination. So for example, 여기가 종로 가는 플랫폼 맞나요? Is this the right platform for 종로? It's because sometimes, in a subway station, you'll see two platforms on the other side. Sometimes you might need to check if you're on the right platform or not. And then if it is right, you hear 네, 맞아요. Yes, it is. Or you might hear 아니요, 반대편 플랫폼으로 가세요. Which means that no, go to the other platform, please. 막차는 언제 있어요? What time is the last train? 막차는 언제 있어요? What time is the last train? 막차 is the word meaning last train or last bus because it literally means the last car. So you might hear all different hours, but sometimes people might tell you that 자정에 있어요. It is at midnight. If you're in Seoul, you don't have to worry about 막차, last car, when you take a bus because it runs 24/7. So you don't have to worry about it that much. 가려면 어디에서 갈아타요? Where do I change for? 가려면 어디에서 갈아타요? Where do I change for? So before this expression, you can just put your destination. For example, 서울역에 가려면 어디에서 갈아타요? Where do I change for Seoul Station? The good thing about Korean subway system is that the transfer is for free, like no matter what line you take. As long as it's under the subway system, you don't have to worry about paying too much when you transfer to the other line. So for example, if you say 시청 가려면 어디에서 갈아타요? Where do I change for the city hall? People might say that 서울역에서 갈아타세요. Please change at the Seoul station. 기차역이 어디예요? Where is the train station? 기차역이 어디예요? Where is the train station? If you're a fan of Google Maps, you have to remember that Google Maps sometimes doesn't work well in Korea because of the laws and regulations. So you might have to ask sometimes where something is because the Google Map might not show something clearly. In that case, you can say 기차역이 어디예요? Where's the train station? And there will be a lot of kind people who might say 이쪽으로 따라오세요. Please follow me this way. 표는 어디에서 사요? Where can I buy a ticket? 표는 어디에서 사요? Where can I buy a ticket? If you're new to Korea, there might be a lot of things that you have to learn from the very beginning. One of them is where to buy tickets. If you're not sure where to buy your ticket, you can say 표는 어디에서 사요? 표 is the word meaning ticket. And you might hear something like 저기 승차권 발매기가 있어요. The ticket machines are over there. Or if you live in South Korea, I think it's better to just buy a transportation card, which is known as T-money. In that case, you don't have to worry about buying a ticket. 까지 얼마예요? How much is it to? 까지 얼마예요? How much is it to? So before this expression, you can just put your destination. For example, 서울역까지 얼마예요? How much is it to Seoul Station? Then you hear something like 3,000원입니다. It's 3,000 won. These days, you don't have to talk to anyone. Actually, you just go to a vending machine and just press your destination, then it's going to show you the price. But if you want to check something before you go to the station, you can just ask 서울역까지 얼마예요? How much is it to Seoul Station? 이 버스 가나요? Does this bus go to? 이 버스 가나요? Does this bus go to? And then you can just say your destination. 이 버스 means this bus, and 가나요 means is it going? In most cases, you just have to put the phrases saying the transportation method, like 이 버스, this bus, or 이 지하철, this subway, and then just say 가나요, is it going? If you want to know if the bus or if the subway car goes to a specific destination. For example, if you want to go to 롯데월드, the amusement park, you can say 이 버스 롯데월드 가나요? You just put the destination in the middle. Does this bus go to Lotte World? And if the bus is going, you will hear 네, 갑니다. Yes, it is going. 버스 정류장이 어디예요? Where is the bus stop? 버스 정류장이 어디예요? Where's the bus stop? When you are looking for bus stop, just look at the middle of the street because in many cases they have a special lane for buses. It's not on the side. For some cases, it's in the middle. And when you ask this kind of question, you hear something like 길 건너편에 있어요. It's across the street. 기차가 늦네요. The train's running late. 기차가 늦네요. The train's running late. Here we have the word 기차, which means a train. If the person knows it'll be coming soon, you'll hear 곧 올 거예요. It will arrive soon.
In this video, you'll have a chance to test them out with a quiz. First, you'll see an image and hear a question. Next comes a short dialogue. Listen carefully and see if you can answer correctly. We'll show you the answer at the end. Are you ready?
서점에서 여자가 점원에게 무언가를 부탁하고 있습니다. 그 여자는 어떤 책을 보고 싶어 합니까? 죄송합니다. 그 선반에 있는 책을 보고 싶습니다.
어떤 책이요?
자동차에 대한 책이요.
잠시만 기다려주세요. 이거요?
네, 맞아요.
여기 있습니다.
그 여자는 어떤 책을 보고 싶어 합니까? 서점에서 여자가 점원에게 무언가를 부탁하고 있습니다. 그 여자는 어떤 책을 보고 싶어 합니까? 죄송합니다. 그 선반에 있는 책을 보고 싶습니다.
어떤 책이요?
자동차에 대한 책이요.
잠시만 기다려주세요. 이거요?
네, 맞아요.
여기 있습니다.
남자와 여자가 레스토랑에서 메뉴를 보고 있습니다. 남자는 무엇을 주문했습니까?
무엇을 주문할 거예요?
이 피자 맛있어 보여요. 이걸로 할게요.
전 어제 피자를 먹어서.
그럼 이 햄버거는 어때요?
좋아요. 그걸로 할게요.
남자는 무엇을 주문했습니까? 남자와 여자가 레스토랑에서 메뉴를 보고 있습니다. 남자는 무엇을 주문했습니까?
무엇을 주문할 거예요?
이 피자 맛있어 보여요. 이걸로 할게요.
전 어제 피자를 먹어서.
그럼 이 햄버거는 어때요?
좋아요. 그걸로 할게요.
남자가 병원에 전화를 하고 있습니다. 남자는 몇 시까지 병원에 가야 합니까? 여보세요. 무엇을 도와드릴까요?
오늘 문 여는 시간이 어떻게 되나요?
6시까지입니다. 하지만 5시 30분까지 와주세요.
네.
남자는 몇 시까지 병원에 가야 합니까? 남자가 병원에 전화를 하고 있습니다. 남자는 몇 시까지 병원에 가야 합니까? 여보세요. 무엇을 도와드릴까요?
오늘 문 여는 시간이 어떻게 되나요?
6시까지입니다. 하지만 5시 30분까지 와주세요.
네.
남자아이가 자신의 일기장을 읽고 있습니다. 남자아이가 오늘 가장 처음 한 일은 무엇입니까?
오늘은 날씨가 매우 좋았다. 나는 오후에 수영장에 갔다. 그리고 나는 저녁에 영화를 보러 갔다. 또 아침에 나는 공부를 했다. 오늘은 매우 좋은 하루였다.
남자아이가 오늘 가장 처음 한 일은 무엇입니까? 남자아이가 자신의 일기장을 읽고 있습니다. 남자아이가 오늘 가장 처음 한 일은 무엇입니까?
오늘은 날씨가 매우 좋았다. 나는 오후에 수영장에 갔다. 그리고 나는 저녁에 영화를 보러 갔다. 또 아침에 나는 공부를 했다. 오늘은 매우 좋은 하루였다.
여자와 남자가 사진을 보고 있습니다. 어떤 사진을 보고 있습니까? 이거 너네 아들 축구팀 사진이지? 누가 너네 아들이야?
이 아이,
아, 팀에서 키가 가장 크네.
나보다도 키가 더 커.
어떤 사진을 보고 있습니까? 여자와 남자가 사진을 보고 있습니다. 어떤 사진을 보고 있습니까? 이거 너네 아들 축구팀 사진이지? 누가 너네 아들이야?
이 아이,
아, 팀에서 키가 가장 크네.
나보다도 키가 더 커. Top 10 phrases your parents always say. Let's begin. 조심해, be careful. 조심해, be careful. Yeah, I think, you hear that not only from your parents, but almost from everyone. Like when you're about to do something very stupid or very like dangerous, then your friends or your parents might say that 조심해, be careful. 조용히 해, be quiet. 조용히 해, be quiet. I never heard this phrase in my life because I'm always like try to be quiet. But like, sometimes I feel like I want some parents say this 조용히 해 to their kids at a restaurant or at some theater because some parents just let their kids do whatever they want to do. So I sometimes want to say that for their parents, like saying 조용히 해, be quiet. 얌전히 있어, behave. 얌전히 있어, behave. So 얌전히 means something like not making trouble, like just being calm, and 있어 means just be like something. So it means something like, do not make in trouble or like just be there as you are. 숙제해, do your homework. 숙제해, do your homework. So here we have the word 숙제 meaning homework. 해 is kind of the word meaning do something because 하다 is the verb meaning to do. If you just say noun plus 해, that means that do something. So for example, 공부해, do study. 숙제해, do your homework. That kind of pattern. 가서 자, go to bed. 가서 자, go to bed. I heard this a lot when I was a kid because when I was in elementary school, the internet was introduced to public and I got a chance to use that. I really liked it. So I remember I used it until 2 a.m. even when I was in elementary school. So I heard this phrase a lot. 가서 자, go to bed. 세까지 센다. I'm going to count to 3. 세까지 센다. I'm going to count to 3. I think it's a very common phrase that Korean parents use. 세까지 센다. 하나, 둘, 셋. Or something like that. So 셋 here means the number 3. So it literally means, okay, I'm going to count to 3. 그만해. Stop. 그만해. Stop. So 그만 here is the adverb meaning right there, like right at the edge or right there. And 해 means do. So it sounds something like don't do more than that. Like just stop there. So if you're arguing with your parents and if you say something bad, then your parents might say 그만해. Or if you keep doing something stupid, then you might hear the phrase 그만해. 장난 아니야. I'm not kidding. 장난 아니야. I'm not kidding. So here 장난 means something like play, joke. So it literally means it's not a play, it's not a joke. If your parents think you don't take their advice seriously, then they might say 장난 아니야. I'm not kidding. 당장 텔레비전 꺼. Turn the TV off now. 당장 텔레비전 꺼. Turn the TV off now. I think this is kind of the old phrase because I have some friends who are married and they say that their kids really love watching something on YouTube. So right these days, they say that they have to, say 당장 유튜브 그만 봐. Stop watching YouTube. Stop YouTube, literally. So I think, more and more kids are getting very familiar with the smartphones, watching something on YouTube. So I think the phrase is also changing by that trend. 이 닦았어? Did you brush your teeth? 이 닦았어? Did you brush your teeth? I heard this phrase a lot because I just wanted to go to bed right after doing something on the internet or watching TV. So I often heard this phrase a lot. 이 닦았어? Did you brush your teeth?
Want to speak real Korean from your first lesson? Sign up for your free lifetime account at KoreanClass101.com.
10 words for connecting thoughts. Let's begin. 그러고는, then. 그러고는, then. For example, you can say that 어제 그 사람 만났어. 그러고는 헤어졌어. I met the person, then I just broke up. It can be used mostly for daily conversation like spoken Korean. If it is for written Korean, you can say that 그리고 나서 or 그러고 to mean then. 하지만, however. 하지만, however. This word can be used for formal situation or for written Korean. For example, 이 문제는 어렵습니다. 하지만 해결할 수 있습니다. This issue is difficult, however, we can fix it. So if you want to say however with your friends, you can use 근데 or 그렇지만 to mean however. 이거 어려워 보여. 근데 할 수 있어. This issue seems difficult, however, we can fix it for a casual situation. 따라서, therefore. 따라서, therefore. For example, 내일은 더울 겁니다. 따라서 물을 많이 드십시오. Tomorrow will be hot, therefore, make sure to drink a lot of water. But when you talk with your friends or in more general cases, you can use 그러니까 to mean therefore. 또한, also. 또한, also. So for example, when you have a business meeting, you can suggest your idea by saying 이 계획도 생각할 수 있고 또한 이 계획도 생각할 수 있습니다. We can consider this plan or that plan. 반면, on the other hand. 반면, on the other hand. So this word 반면 literally means the other side. So you can use it to mean on the other hand. For example, 저는 스포츠를 좋아합니다. 반면 제 여자친구는 스포츠를 좋아하지 않습니다. I like sports. On the other hand, my girlfriend doesn't like sports. 마찬가지로, likewise. 마찬가지로, likewise. So when someone asks you, 너도 이거 좋아해? Do you also like it? Then you can just say that 마찬가지로, likewise. But if you want to make it sound natural in Korean, you can just make it a little bit longer by saying 나도 마찬가지로 좋아해. 게다가, additionally. So you can use it in a sentence something like 그 사람은 성격도 좋고 게다가 얼굴도 예뻐요. She has a good character. Moreover, she is pretty. 대신, instead. 대신, instead. 대신 means instead. You can say it as in 대신 해줄 수 있어요? Could you do that for me? Or could you do that instead? 마지막으로, finally. 마지막으로, finally. When you finish something, you can just start your paragraph by saying 마지막으로 or 끝으로 to mean finally. So, for example, 마지막으로 저는 이렇게 생각합니다. Finally, this is what I think. 근데, well. 근데, well. When you want to change the subject, when you talk with your friends, you can simply just say 근데. Let's say you talked about your trip to Japan, and then you certainly want to ask your friend like what she's doing this weekend. Then you can just say that 근데 이번 주말에 뭐 해? Well, then what do you do for this weekend? 10 phrases to amaze native speakers. Let's begin. 10년 동안 한국어를 배웠습니다. I've been learning Korean for 10 years. Wow, you'll be so surprised if someone says 10년 동안 한국어를 배웠습니다. First, I think it's because not many foreign people learn Korean for over 1 year. I know some people who learn the basic things from the Korean songs, Korean dramas, but not like for over 1 year really studying. So if someone says 10년 동안 한국어를 배웠습니다, that would be amazing to see. 3년 동안 원어민처럼 한국어를 할 거예요. I'll speak Korean like a native speaker in 3 years. You know, if you want to say that you have a strong goal, you can say something like 3년 안에 or 1년 안에 원어민처럼 말할 거예요. Or give more specific things, something like 3년 안에 한국어로 강의를 할 거예요. 3년 안에 한국어로 영어를 가르칠 거예요. Then native speakers like me will be very impressed and very surprised to hear that. And I might want to do everything that I want to do to help the other people to make this goal. 감사하지만 전 사실 원어민이 아니에요. Thank you, but I'm not a native speaker actually. That's actually my goal to say that. I want to say something like, thank you, but actually I'm not a good native speaker or something like that. 감사하지만 전 사실 원어민이 아니에요. Thank you, but I'm not actually a native speaker. 유창해지기까지 1년밖에 걸리지 않았어요. It took me only 1 year to become fluent. If that's true, then you can proudly say that 유창하기까지 1년밖에 걸리지 않았어요. 2년밖에 걸리지 않았어요. Then people were very surprised to hear that. 자막 없이 한국 영화를 볼 수 있습니다. I can watch Korean movies without subtitles. If you live in Korea, I think you already know that there's some movie theater that you can see Korean movies with English subtitles. But that movie theaters are not that good. It would be great if you can just see them without subtitles. Yeah, some Korean comedy movies would be good if you want to improve your Korean and also watch Korean drama without subtitle in the future. 하루에 약 50개 새로운 한국어 단어를 외울 수 있습니다. I can memorize around 50 new Korean words a day. So here we have 하루에, a day, and 새로운 한국어 단어, meaning new Korean words. Well, actually, I think anyone can memorize 50 Korean words if they spend enough time to do that. But it's not easy to do that every day. So if someone says 새로운 단어를 하루에 50개 외울 수 있습니다, that would be surprising because that means that someone is learning Korean seriously. 하신 말씀 모두 다 완벽히 이해했습니다. I completely understood everything you said. So if you say 하신 말씀을 모두 완벽히 이해했습니다, that means that I didn't miss anything. Especially at work, like if you say that, it's going to impress your boss because, you know, that means that I'm listening, I can understand every single thing that you said. 한국어 외에 다른 언어도 몇 개 할 수 있습니다. Apart from knowing Korean, I can speak a few other languages as well. So if you have other languages that you can speak, even though it's not fluent, just like at the beginning level, you can say 한국어 외에 something도 말할 수 있습니다. 한국어 외에 일본어도 중국어도 말할 수 있습니다. 한국어 외에 프랑스어도 독일어도 말할 수 있습니다. To say that you speak, few other languages apart from English and Korean. 한국어는 재미있고 배우기 쉬워요. Korean is fun and easy to learn. Here we have the adjective 재미있다, fun, and 쉬워요, easy. So that means that you really enjoy learning Korean. Not only to make the other people amazed, I think with saying this, you can also find many native speakers who want to help you to improve your Korean because who would not want to, help someone who really like enjoying learning Korean. 혼자 한국어를 공부하고 있습니다. I'm learning Korean all by myself. So here we have the word 혼자, meaning alone, all by oneself. Actually, there are many people learning Korean by themselves. So if you learn Korean all by yourself, later when you get a chance to visit Korea and talk with Korean people in Korean, just simply say 혼자 한국어를 공부했습니다. I've been learning Korean all by myself.
Want to finally start speaking in your target language? In this guide, you'll discover the top 7 ways to practice speaking on your own with our lessons. Let's begin. Number 1, shadowing. Shadowing is a proven learning technique where all you do is repeat what you hear in order to practice speaking. So access any audio or video lesson on the site and press the play button to start. Then, as you listen or watch, just repeat the conversations. Or, even easier, read along out loud with the dialogue section. The script is right there in front of you. With our lessons, you can master entire conversations, just like that. Number 2, read out loud. I just mentioned it, but reading out loud is another powerful tactic and deserves its own mention. With every lesson, you get written transcripts and translations. So, as you play the lesson, read the dialogue out loud as you hear it. Why? By reading out loud, you're also practicing your speaking skills. You can do this with the lesson notes, the lesson transcript, or the dialogue tool. With the dialogue tool, you can listen to each line again and again, and repeat out loud until you master them all. Number 3, speed up your reading to speed up your speaking. Being able to speak without thinking is a sign of language mastery. If you're talking to a native and can respond quickly, they'll assume that you're fairly fluent. How can you do this? When you read out loud, try increasing your speed a little bit every time. So, start by reading with the dialogue tool. If you're like most learners, you'll read the first line slowly. That's because you're still getting used to the words, which is okay. Reread it. On your second try, you know most of the words, and you'll read a little faster. Reread it again. On your third try, you'll be even faster, at a native speaker's speed. And being able to read these phrases out loud and fast will help you speak fast. Number 4, record and compare yourself with native speakers. In order to sound like a native speaker, you must imitate native speakers. So here's how. Access the voice recorder, which is in the Dialogue Study tool in every lesson. Click on the microphone icon. Listen to the native speaker's audio, and then record yourself. You can then compare the 2 recordings side by side, and practice and try again and again until you perfect your pronunciation. Number 5, get feedback from our Premium Plus teacher. If you're learning by yourself and don't have access to real teachers, then you can always get feedback from our Premium Plus teachers. With the My Teacher tool, you can record yourself speaking and send the audio file to the teacher. They'll review it and tell you what to improve and how. That's it. Number 6, level up your speaking with Premium Plus assignments. With Premium Plus, you can also get assignments that cover reading, writing, listening, and even speaking from your teacher. These assignments can be tailored to your goals and needs. You get a new one every week, or anytime you're ready for a new one. Number 7, get even more lessons in the lesson library. If you want even more lessons on speaking and conversations, visit our lesson library and under Category, choose Conversation. You'll get all of the pathways and lessons that are focused on speaking.
How to respond to how are you? Let's begin. 괜찮아요. I'm fine. 괜찮아요. I'm fine. For example, if someone asks you 어떻게 지내요? How are you? You can say 괜찮아요. 어떻게 지내요? I'm fine. How are you? Or 괜찮아요. 잘 지내요? I'm fine. You're doing well? 전 괜찮아요. I'm okay. 전 괜찮아요. I'm okay. So if you just say 괜찮아요, that means I'm okay, I'm fine. But if you say 전 괜찮아요, it means I am okay, but I'm not sure about the other person. So for example, if your friend know there was something bad happened to your family and asks you 어떻게 지내? Like how are you? Then if you say 난 괜찮아 or 전 괜찮아요, it means I'm okay, but I'm not sure about other family members. 졸려요. I'm sleepy. 졸려요. I'm sleepy. So you don't have to keep saying 괜찮아요 always. But sometimes when you feel sleepy, you can also say 졸려요. I'm sleepy. And I think it's better to give the reason why you feel sleepy. For example, 졸려요. 어제 늦게까지 공부를 했어요. Which means I'm sleepy because I studied until late last night. 잘 지내요. I'm great. 잘 지내요. I'm great. It literally means I'm spending my days well. So if someone says 잘 지내요, that means that the person is having great days. So let's say, you just passed the test that you prepared for years. And if someone asks you, 어떻게 지내요? How are you doing? You can say 잘 지내요. I'm great. 시험에 통과했거든요. I just passed the test. 기분이 별로예요. I'm feeling bad. 기분이 별로예요. I'm feeling bad. Like, it literally means I'm feeling so-so, nothing special. But in context, you can figure out if it really means I'm okay or if it means something like I feel bad. In Korean, when it's about negative feeling, it's not ideal to say something about negative directly. So people usually say, 기분이 별로예요. Like, I feel just so-so, like nothing special, nothing good, to mean I feel bad. 나쁘지 않아요. I'm not bad. 나쁘지 않아요. I'm not bad. So 나쁘다 means bad. So it literally means actually I'm not bad. I'm not feeling bad. It's not bad. So for example, you just worked hard, you studied hard, so you feel tired, but it's for making something good. So even though you feel tired, like it's not that much bad. In the case, you can say 나쁘지 않아요. 물어봐줘서 고마워요. Thank you for asking. 물어봐줘서 고마워요. Thank you for asking. It's kind of not common to say this phrase because people usually, just give the answer right away and then, ask you back how are you. 너는 and you. 너는 and you. So you can use that kind of the phrase for any situations that you want to say and you. For example, 뭐 먹을래? What do you want to have? 김치찌개, 김치 stew. And you, 너는? 요새 어떻게 지냈어요? How have you been recently? 요새 어떻게 지냈어요? How have you been recently? So 요새 means recently and 어떻게 지냈어요 means how are you? How have you been doing? So if you haven't seen someone for a long period of time, like for a month, you can say that 요새 어떻게 지냈어요? How have you been doing recently? 바쁘게 지내고 있어요. I've been busy. 바쁘게 지내고 있어요. I've been busy. But still, I'm really enjoying meeting you guys who really want to learn Korean, so I'm happy to doing it. So I can also say that 잘 지내고 있어요. I'm doing great. Must know expressions for agreeing and disagreeing. Let's begin. 그건 사실이야. That's true. 그건 사실이야. That's true. 네가 말하는 게 사실이야. What you're saying is true. You can say that 그거 사실이야. Is that true? 그런 것 같아요. I guess so. 그런 것 같아요. I guess so. If you're not 100% sure, but if you feel like that's correct, you can say that 그런 것 같아요. I guess so. 그런 것 같아요. I guess so. 그럼요. Absolutely. 그럼요. Absolutely. So if someone asks you like, 오늘 저녁에 같이 갈비 먹으러 갈까? Do you want to have some 갈비 tonight together? For sure, you can say that 그럼요. Meaning, I really want to do that. Like, absolutely. 어떻게 생각해요? What do you think? 어떻게 생각해요? What do you think? Yeah, that's the question when you want to ask if someone agree or disagree with you. So in that case, you can say 어떻게 생각해요? Or 어떻게 생각해? To mean what do you think? 나는 그게 좋다고 생각해. I think that's good. Or 나는 그거 별로라고 생각해. I don't think that's good. 아마도요. Maybe. 아마도요. Maybe. When you don't have enough information to say yes or no, you can be in the middle by saying 아마도요, maybe. 저는 그렇게 생각하지 않아요. I don't think so. 저는 그렇게 생각하지 않아요. I don't think so. This one has a strong message, so usually Korean people don't use that often. But like when you use this kind of expression, it's better to, put the reason why you think like that. So it's better to say 저는 그렇게 생각하지 않아요. 왜냐하면, which means I don't think so because something. 당연하죠. Of course. 당연하죠. Of course. So for example, if your senior asks you, 이 리포트 오늘 밤까지 마무리할 수 있겠어? Which means that, do you think you can finish this report by tonight? And you can say that 당연하죠. Of course. 저도 그 말을 하려고 했어요. I was just going to say that. So if your friend says that, 오늘 밤에 삼겹살 먹는 거 어때? Why don't we have 삼겹살 tonight? Then you can just say that 저도 그 말을 하려고 했어요. I was just going to say that. 저는 좀 생각이 달라요. I'm afraid I disagree. 저는 좀 생각이 달라요. I'm afraid I disagree. This is also an expression that has a strong message. It's better not to say that often, but if you think you really have to say that you don't agree with someone else's idea, like for example, during the business meeting, you can say that 저는 좀 생각이 달라요. I'm afraid I disagree. 확실해요. No doubt about it. 확실해요. No doubt about it. Here we have the word 확실, which means that, something 100% sure. For example, your senior can ask you, 이 리포트 정확해? Which means that thus this report has all the correct information. Then you can say that 확실해요. No doubt about it.
Want to speak real Korean from your first lesson? Sign up for your free lifetime account at KoreanClass101.com.
Actually, I haven't seen them yet, so I'm kind of excited to see what kind of words I'm going to see. Okay, the first word is 슬픈, 슬픈. It means sad. Like you can say 그 영화는 슬픈 영화다, meaning like that movie is sad movie. And the next one would be 어려운, difficult. If you just start learning Korean, then you might say 한국어는 no, it's not good. I have to motivate people. I want to say that 한국어는 어려운 언어가 아닙니다, which means Korean is not difficult language. The next one will be I have to make a sample sentence with that. 못생긴, which means ugly. Well, actually, it's not easy to make a sentence with this word because it mostly have to be with someone. But I might say 못생긴 친구가 예뻐졌다, which means one of my ugly friends become beautiful. That happens a lot at my college. Like they have sometimes get some plastic surgery and they just become beautiful. So I might say 못생긴 친구가 예뻐졌다. Next one is 화난, which means angry. 화난. 오늘 아침에 화난 일이 있었다. Like 화난 일 is something like something making you angry. So that means like there was something make me angry this morning. Computer words. Now we have keyboard, which means keyboard. 저는 무선 키보드가 더 좋습니다, which means I like wireless keyboard more. Okay, and next we have notebook. Notebook doesn't mean like notebook, it's laptop computer. I can make a sentence something like 저는 노트북을 6개월에 한 번씩 바꿉니다, which means something like I change my laptop every 6 months. Yeah, that's kind of true. Okay, and now we have mouse, which means mouse for the computer, I think. Well, for the animal mouse, you can use this word 쥐. So don't call the animal mouse as mouse because that would be only for the computer mouse. 무선 마우스가 편리합니다, which means wireless mouse is convenient. And here, like 무선 means wireless because it literally means without lines. Next one, headphone. Like I say, it's almost the same as English words. Headphone means headphones. With that, I can make a sentence like 저는 헤드폰으로 음악을 듣습니다, which means I listen to music with headphones. And now we have, let me see, mic. Can you guess what it means? Yeah, you might think it's about a guy named Mike. You can call Mike as Mike 씨, Mr. Mike. No, not Mr. Mike. But mic can be used for microphones. 저는 노래방에서 마이크로 노래를 불렀습니다. I'm singing a song with a microphone at the karaoke. Korean jobs. Let's see what kind of words we have today. All right, now we have 간호사, which means nurse. 이 병원에는 예쁜 간호사가 많이 있습니다, which means at this hospital there are many beautiful nurses. Yep. Actually, in Korean, there are not many male nurses. So if you just say 간호사, that means, for female. And if you want to say male nurse, you can say 남자 간호사. Okay, and the next one is 경찰관, police officers. That happens a lot. Like when you just walk on the street in Korea and they just catch you and just, ask you to show them their ID cards because of the, they might consider you as someone from North Korea. No, that's not a good one. What kind of sentence I can make? 경찰관에게 잡혔습니다, which means I got caught by a police officer. When I was walking around the presidential office in South Korea, I had a big backpack and I think they thought that I just tried to, attack the president. So they just got me, just wanted to see the building. But they thought that I'm kind of suspicious guy. Now we have the word 농부, which means farmer. 서울에는 농부가 없습니다, which means in Seoul, there is no farmer. Gangnam was actually the place where you can find a lot of farmers, but now you can only find buildings and side. Okay, and the next one is 회사원, which means office worker. I can just simply say like 저는 회사원입니다. Like I'm an office worker for KoreanClass101.com. So that's true. The weather. First one is 바람이 부는, which means windy. So I can say 제주도에는 바람이 부는 날이 많다, which means in Jeju Island there are many windy days. Okay, next we have 습한, meaning humid. With that word, I can say 한국 여름에는 습한 날이 많이 있습니다, which means in Korean summer there are many humid days. So when you have a plan to go to Korea in summer, bring a lot of shirts because it's so humid. So you might have to change shirts several times a day. Now we have 화창한, sunny. 한국의 4월에는 화창한 날이 많이 있습니다, which means in April in Korea, there are many sunny days. So you can see, like I said, something 날, because 날 means day. So 화창한 날 means sunny day, and 흐린 날 means cloudy day. So you can just put 날 after these adverbs. Okay, next we have 흐린, meaning cloudy. So I can say 저는 흐린 날이 싫습니다, which means I don't like cloudy days. For some reason, it's just making me feel depressed. I think many people have the same feeling. So in this case, we can say 저는 흐린 날이 싫습니다. I don't like cloudy days. And next we have 더운, meaning hot. With the word, I can say 더운 날에 아이들은 시청에 갑니다. On hot days, kids go to the city hall. It's because in hot days, like in summer, the city hall run the water fountains for the kids so that they can just play around with that on the hot days. At the office. Okay, now we have 급여, meaning salary. I can say 변호사는 급여가 높습니다, meaning lawyers have high salary. Okay, now we have 사무실, meaning office. I can say 우리 사무실은 서울에 있습니다, meaning my office is in Seoul. This word 사무실 can be used only for the company's office, not teacher's office or other types of office. 사장, boss. Actually, literally means the leader of the company. So that can be like CEO or someone who is overseeing the company. 우리 사장님은 좋습니다, meaning my boss is very good. Hi, Peter. So when you use this word in Korean, when you address your boss, make sure you put the word 님. Call your boss like 사장님, not 사장, because if you just call 사장 to your boss, then you might have no boss from the next day. Okay, next we have 상사, meaning superior. The first word of this word is 상, meaning up, like above. So 상사 is someone who is working above you. 제 상사는 성격이 안 좋습니다, meaning my superior is mean, which is not true. Just let you know. Okay, now we have 초과 근무, overtime. 하루에 4번 정도 초과 근무를 합니다, meaning Korean people usually do overtime 4 times a week. And yeah, that's actually true. So when I just call my friends who are working for Korean companies, and they just say I'm still at the company, even though it's like until 10 p.m., 11 p.m.
Welcome to Fun and Easy Korean by KoreanClass101.com. Did you know that most of the school rules in Korea were too strict and were once too difficult to follow? 여러분 안녕하세요, 소피입니다. Hi everyone, I'm Sophie. In this lesson, you will learn the 6 most common rules about school in South Korea. Students in South Korea follow different rules when it comes to their hairstyle, the clothes they wear, even the person they date, and more. In this video, you will learn first 6 common school rules, then some more old rules. If you are planning to become a teacher or want to study in Korea, watching this video could be the best thing that will ever happen to you. Why? Because you will be able to learn how to blend in with other students and you will know how to behave the right way when you're in school. The first rule is you don't go to school on Saturdays, but you are expected to do yaja. Students in South Korea used to go to school on Saturdays, but it stopped when the law changed in the year 2000. However, students are still required to attend yaja. 야자. It's an abbreviation for 야간 자율 학습. 야간 자율 학습, which means night self-learning. As the name implies, it's a self-study program held at the school and was mandatory in the past. Today, students are given the freedom to choose whether to do yaja or not. You will be studying in a quiet classroom when you're on a yaja time or night self-learning time. 야자 time. It's actually a huge help for students to plan their own study strategy or to do their 숙제 or homework. 숙제. Additionally, you can have your friend tutor you in the subject that you are not good at during yaja time. Students who are in their last year of high school or middle school typically do a voluntary 야자. 야자. Now, let's do a quick practice on your pronunciation. 야자. Nice self-learning. 야자. 야자. 야자 시간. Nice self-learning time. 야자 시간. 야자 시간. 숙제. Homework. 숙제. 숙제. The next rule is take off your shoes when entering the school. Did you know that in South Korea, taking off your shoes is not only done in households? Students also take off their shoes in school. Once you enter the school building, you are required to take off your shoes and wear slipper, meaning slippers. 슬리퍼, or 실내화, meaning indoor shoes. 실내화. You can keep your shoes on 신발장, or the shoe cabinets found by the entrance of the school building. 신발장. This rule is imposed to make sure that the floor is clean at all times. If you have to wash your slipper or 실내화 at home and you couldn't wear it, expect to lose some points for not following the school rule. The choice of the slipper or indoor shoe design or model varies depending on the school, so it's better for you to wait until the school announces which model and design you need to wear. To make sure that you are purchasing the right kind of indoor shoes, drop by the 문방구, or the stationery store, which is just outside the school. 문방구. Here is a vocabulary list you can practice pronouncing at home. 슬리퍼, slippers. 슬리퍼, 슬리퍼. 실내화, indoor shoes. 실내화, 실내화. 신발장, shoes cabinet. 신발장, 신발장. 문방구, stationery store. 문방구, 문방구. A synonym is 문방구점. 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 Next is teachers and 선도부 will stand at the doorway to check your uniform. Every time you enter the school door, there will be about 5 to 6 students and a teacher who will check you out from head to toe. This is to make sure that you're wearing their uniform the right way. I know it can get a little uncomfortable for you, but but that's the rule in Korean schools. The teacher who does this is 체육 선생님, or a physical education teacher. 체육 선생님, and called 학주. 학주, short for 학생 주임. 학생 주임. On the other hand, the students who are assigned to this are either 반장, meaning class president, 반장, or 부반장, meaning class vice president, from the final year of school, 부반장. Since they are known as the top students and called 선도부, 선도부, or 바른생활부, meaning leading group literally. 바른생활부, which is similar to a student council. Other students highly respect them. These are the things the students and the teacher will check from you. That you are not wearing any accessory or accessories. accessory, including invisible plastic earrings. That you are not wearing any 화장 or makeup. 화장, including whitening sunscreen. That you are wearing a hairstyle that's in line with the school rules. That the length of your skirt is below your knees if you are a girl. However, not all schools follow the same rules, and others are even stricter, especially if you go to an only girls or boys school. Neglecting the school rules will cause you to lose points, and it can affect your final score at the end of the semester or year. If you do the following things, you will be more likely to lose points. If you wear earrings, piercings, bracelets, and so on, -5 points. If you are not wearing your name tag, -3 points. If you wear makeup, -5 points. And the list could go on. It's important that you know the things that can cause you to lose points so you can avoid it, although points differ depending on the school. It's always best to follow the rules. Some teachers will make their students run the 운동장 or schoolyard. 운동장. A certain number of times to punish students who do not do well during the final exams instead of make them lose points. Are you ready for some pronunciation practice? Let's try this. 선배, one senior in school. Senior. 선배, 선배. 체육 선생님, physical education teacher. 체육 선생님, 체육 선생님. 액세서리, accessories. 액세서리, 액세서리. Next is, your height matters when it comes to choosing a seat. The number of students in every class depends on which city you're from and ranges from 15 to 35 students. In order to have proper seating arrangements, students are allowed to sit anywhere. But your height must first be considered. Each student will be sitting in their height order, so those who are shorter will sit in the front, and taller students will sit in the last row. Korean classrooms also have a personal 출석 번호, meaning attendance number, throughout the year, and this is done by height order as well. 출석 번호. For example, if there are 35 students in your class and you're the shortest, then your number will be 1번, meaning number 1. 1번. And if you are the tallest, your personal number will be 35번, meaning number 35. 35번. You must remember your person number because teachers call you by either your name or your personal number. For example, let's say you're in a 수학 교실 or math class. 수학 교실. And the teacher wrote down 2 mathematical equations to be solved by students. If today is 8월 15일, meaning August 15th, 8월 15일, will most likely go to the front and solve the questions? That's right, the 2 students whose person numbers are number 8 and 15. Also, the teacher may order students to do something, such as cleaning or other tasks, by 짝수, 짝수, or even numbers, and 홀수, or odd numbers as well, 홀수. Therefore, having your personal number is very important at school. You will also receive a different number every year, so make sure you keep that in mind. Here is a vocabulary list you will surely find useful in a Korean school. 수학, math. 수학. 교실, class. 교실. 8월 15일, August 15th. 8월 15일. 8월 15일. 짝수, even numbers. 짝수. 짝수. 홀수, odd numbers. 홀수. 홀수. Next is no dating your schoolmate. Schools in South Korea believe that dating in school will affect students' study. That's why they disallow students to date their schoolmates. For students attending only girls or boys' high school, this won't be a problem. But if you attend co-schools, you will need to be extra careful not to get caught. It's a serious issue if you date your schoolmate and could result in 징계, meaning disciplinary punishment, 징계, or 퇴학, meaning expelled from school, 퇴학. 81% of middle and high schools don't allow students to date anyone in South Korea. Unfortunately, dating in school is perceived as unethical behavior. Schools even reward students who report other students dating their schoolmates secretly. Another big issue that came out in 2011 was when a school surveyed the students to report same-sex dating. Here are more terms used in Korean schools. 학교, school. 학교, 학교. 연애, dating. 연애, 연애. 징계, disciplinary punishment. 징계, 징계. 퇴학, expelled from school. 퇴학, 퇴학. Next is, you need permission to go to the bathroom and must take your own sanitary products. You need to ask permission from a 선생님 or teacher. 선생님. If you want to go to the 화장실 or bathroom. 화장실. You will have to raise your hand to let the teacher know and ask whether you can go to the bathroom. Unless you're in the middle of an exam, most of the time the teachers will let you go to the bathroom. You can ask your teacher this way. 선생님, 화장실 가도 돼요? Which means, Teacher, can I go to the bathroom? 선생님, 화장실 가도 돼요? South Korean schools do not have 휴지 or toilet paper. 휴지. So make sure you bring your own sanitary essentials. If you ever forgot to bring toilet paper, try looking in your classroom, since Koreans also use toilet paper for wiping the dirt of the desk, or for blowing their nose, or for other purposes. Here is some vocabulary you will find useful when going to the bathroom. 화장실, bathroom. 화장실, 화장실. 선생님, teacher. 선생님, 선생님. 휴지, tissue. 휴지, 휴지. A synonym is 두루마리 휴지, meaning toilet paper. 두루마리 휴지, 두루마리 휴지. Next is bonus rules, an old rule and additional rules. Did you know that Korean students are used to bowing their heads to a teacher every class? It's no longer allowed today though. Students were also expected to sit and prepare a textbook and a notebook on their desks before class. South Korean students have their own classroom for themselves, and the teachers are the ones who move around. As you can see, it's very different from other countries. Back in the day, when a teacher arrived to a classroom, 반장 or class president, 반장, would stand and say 차렷, meaning attention, loudly so everyone could hear. 차렷. Then the class president will either say 인사, meaning greet, 인사, or 경례, meaning salute, 경례, 경례. Then everyone had to say 선생님 안녕하십니까, meaning hello teacher before the class. 선생님 안녕하십니까, and 선생님 안녕히 가십시오, goodbye teacher after the class. 선생님 안녕히 가십시오. This has been banned recently because people believe that this was too conservative and it doesn't help a teacher and the students establish a good relationship. Another rule South Korean schools follow is not allowing students to alter the length of their skirts or the width of their pants. 치마 길이, or the length of skirt, has to cover half the knee. 치마 길이. If it's shorter than this, you will get in trouble. However, this really depends on the school. These days, students can alter their school uniforms to suit their body shape. You must also wear what the school tells you to. In South Korea, there are 3 ways to wear your school uniforms. The default school uniforms are 동복, 동복, or winter uniform, and 하복, summer uniform, 하복. In between, there is 춘추복, or spring-autumn uniform, 춘추복. Normally, each uniform has its set duration, so even though the weather becomes extremely hot, if you're in the period of wearing 동복 or winter uniform, you have to wear the winter uniform, 동복. One more rule students follow in South Korea is regarding the students' hairstyle. The school will decide which hairstyle to do. However, nowadays, students are allowed to do many different hairstyles. Girls can dye their hair, curl their hair, and untie their hair. Compare this to the old times when every girl had to have short hair, which must not grow longer than 3 cm below their ears. Boys, on the other hand, can now grow their hair longer than they could a few decades ago, when every boy had to shave their hair completely. This rule also depends on which school you go to. Some conservative schools still follow the traditional way of hairstyle. 두발 자유화 is something that Korean students are fighting for because they believe that free hairstyle allows them to express themselves. This has been an ongoing debate today. 두발 자유화. Some schools still follow the traditional ways of disciplining students, which can be a problem for some students. Although the majority of Koreans have naturally black hair, there are some exceptions. There are people with naturally brunette and even light brown, almost blonde hair. Others have naturally curly hair. I know what you are thinking. It's sad that these students will have to abide by the rule by straightening their hair or dyeing it black, although they were born this way. Here are some interesting vocabulary words you can practice. 반장, class president. 반장, 반장. 선생님, 안녕하십니까? Hello, teacher. 선생님, 안녕하십니까? 선생님, 안녕하십니까? 선생님, 안녕히 가십시오. Goodbye, teacher. 선생님, 안녕히 가십시오. 선생님, 안녕히 가십시오. 치마 길이, the length of skirt. 치마 길이, 치마 길이. 동복, winter uniform. 동복, 동복. 하복, summer uniform. 하복, 하복. 춘추복, spring autumn uniform. 춘추복, 춘추복. 두발 자유화, liberalization of the hair code. 두발 자유화, 두발 자유화. Next is, nevertheless, we are getting better. As the years pass by, some rules were changed. Students don't go to school on Saturdays anymore since 2000. 야자, on the other hand, used to be mandatory for everyone in middle and high school. But now, students can decide whether they want to attend it or not. 야자. Students' hairstyles were limited to, and students with brunette hair had to dye it black, just because it was school rule. But this doesn't apply to schools anymore. There's no longer corporal punishment today as well. Do you think it's a good thing that they changed the rules? I'd love to know what you think about this. In this lesson, you learned the different school rules in Korea. Although some are understandable, some are just a little too hard for most students. However, you also learned that most of these rules have been changed and are no longer followed today. If you just got enrolled in a Korean school, you are one of the lucky ones who no longer has to follow the strict rules of the past. That's it for today. See you next time. 다음에 또 봐요.
Want to speed up your language learning? Take your very first lesson with us. You'll start speaking in minutes and master real conversations. Sign up for your free lifetime account. Just click the link in the description.